Okay, we're gonna start without him, and when he comes in, we're gonna make him join, inshallah. So, is everyone
Inshallah.
ready? Everyone prepared?
Yeah.
Okay, can you all message here in the channel?
They are messaging in the voice chat. Like,
Uh,
I don't know how to explain.
wait, let me. Which channel are you referring to?
Wait.
Use the general chat to message.
No, not that.
Which one? Uh, okay, wait. Okay, this. Okay. I can see. Okay, everyone is ready, and we're gonna begin. Okay, so Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidina wa habibina wa azimina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin wa ba'd. Is my screen visible to everyone? Final question.
Yes.
Okay. Definition of fasting. Fasting, siyam, in Arabic, siyam or sawm, linguistically refers to abstinence, imsak. And technically, shar'an, according to the sharia, it refers to abstinence with an intention from a specific person in a specific time from specific things. So I have two things here. Fasting has two meanings. It has the linguistic meaning, the meaning in the Arabic language, which is simply abstinence, imsak, which means to refrain. And the Shar'i definition, technically, it refers to abstinence with an intention from a specific person in a specific time from specific things. Al-Najdi, he stated, a specific person, shakhs, makhsus, that is a sane and discerning Muslim. A sane meaning he should be sane and not insane. And discerning, mumayyiz, Muslim other than the one menstruating or experiencing postpartum bleeding. And by discerning here, we mean reaching 7 years of age. So the mumayyiz, according to the madhab, is one who has reached 7 years of age. And if you have any question, you can ask in the chat box. Fasting of Ramadan. The fasting of Ramadan is obligated with the sighting of the crescent for all people. The madhab is that if the crescent is sighted in a land, it becomes obligatory for all Muslims across the entire globe to fast. So this is important. The madhab is that if the crescent is sighted in one land, it becomes obligatory for all Muslims across the globe to fast, contrary to the scholars who support the opinion of local sighting. Even if the matali', the moonrise times, differ. As for those whom clouds or dust obscure from seeing it on the night of the 30th of Sha'ban, they must fast out of precaution with the intention that it is from Ramadan. And this is from the mufradats of the madhab, the specialties of the madhab. The fasting of that day suffices if it later becomes evident that it was indeed from Ramadan. when its sighting is confirmed in another location, and the Taraweeh prayer is performed and the rest of the rulings are not established. So only the rulings pertaining to Siyam, fasting, not the rest of the rulings, like the occurrence of divorce, emancipation, and the arrival of a due date. Confirming the sighting of its crescent. The sighting of its crescent is confirmed by the reports of a just, accountable, meaning sane and adult Muslim, even if it is a slave or a woman. The rest of the rulings follow accordingly. So here we have three conditions for the sighter. So the sighter, he has three conditions. Number one, Islam, meaning he has to be a Muslim. Number two, he has to be accountable, mukallaf, which means he has to be sane and an adult. And number three, he has to be just. He has to be trustworthy, just. And one person suffices, even if it is a slave or a woman. And the rest of the rulings follow accordingly. Is this only in the Hanbali madhab? Which part are you referring to specifically? The moon sighting globally. That's for the Hanafis as well, and not just the Hanbali madhab. I believe it's the Malikis also say this. The Malikis, the Hanafis, and the Hanbalis. Can we refer to Nasa and that? No, we cannot. Because we don't rely on astronomical calculations. We don't rely on calculations. According to the madhab, we don't rely on calculations to determine the crescent. For the crescent, we simply need to sight it observationally. We cannot depend on calculations. Because the Prophet ﷺ, he said, "Inna ummatun ummiyatun la naktubu wa la nahsubu." He said, we are an unlettered nation. We do not calculate, nor we do not write, nor do we calculate. That's the saying of the Prophet ﷺ. We do not depend on calculations to determine the moon sighting. Any other question? Okay. Conditions of fasting. So we're going on to the conditions of fasting, meaning the shurub. Okay, we will be recording, so I'll make sure to upload it later, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum. Okay, no problem. Okay, pay attention. The conditions of fasting, they are four. The conditions of fasting, there are four. Islam is the first condition. Islam, puberty, bulugh, sanity, the aql, and ability over it, meaning to fast. So these four conditions. Whoever is unable to fast due to old age or an illness, sickness, with no hope of recovery, is exempt from fasting. And he may break his fast, but he must feed a needy person for each missed day, either a mud of wheat or half a sa' of any other food. So the mud or the sa', these are forms of measurement. So the four conditions of fasting: Islam, puberty, sanity, and ability over it. meaning to fast. So now we move on to the conditions for the validity of fasting. So here we covered the conditions of fasting itself. Now we're moving on to the conditions for the sihhah, the validity of fasting. And they are six. Islam, cessation of menstrual blood, cessation of postpartum bleeding for women, discernment, tamyiz, which is reaching 7 years of age, sanity, al-aql, and number 6, intention from night for every obligatory fast. This is important. So sanity here, footnote, if a person intended to fast at night and then experienced insanity or unconsciousness for the entire day, but he regained consciousness for even a short period, the fast is valid. And for intention from night for every obligatory fast, whoever brings to his heart at night that he is going to fast, then he has made his intention. And likewise, eating and drinking with the intention of fasting the coming day. Okay. It does not invalidate the fast if, after making the intention, a person does something that would normally break the fast before the time of fasting begins. Or if he says, Insha'Allah, without doubt or hesitation. Similarly, if on the night of the 30th of Ramadan, one says, if tomorrow is Ramadan, then my fast is obligatory. Otherwise, I am not fasting. It does not affect the validity of the fast. However, saying this at the beginning of Ramadan does affect the validity of the intention. The farad, meaning the obligation of fasting. It is one, which is imsak, abstinence from the things that break the fast from the rising of the second dawn till sunset. Is that clear? So far, everything clear?
Yeah.
Okay. The sunan, the recommendations of fasting, they are 6. So the sunnah acts of fasting, they are 6. Number 1, hastening to break the fast. So if Maghrib adhan happens, you hasten to break the fast. Number 2, delaying the pre-dawn meal, as-suhoor. Delaying as-suhoor, that's sunnah. Number 3, increasing in good deeds. And number 4, saying loudly, Inni sa'im, I am one who is fasting, if insulted. Hastening meaning hurrying, quickly, you can say. Yes. Like immediately. Number 4, saying loudly, Inni sa'im, I am one who is fasting, if insulted. Number 5, saying when breaking the fast, Allahumma laka sumt wa ala rizqika aftarat, subhanaka wa bihamdik, Allahumma taqabbal minni, innaka anta as-sami'ul alim. O Allah, for you I have fasted, and upon your provision I have broken my fast. Exalted are you from everything that is not possible for you, like being in a place or being subject to time. And with your praise, O Allah, accept from me, indeed you are the hearing, the knowing. So, as a benefit, I'd like to mention this. Do you guys know what Subhanallah means? And what if you say it and they still carry it on? You ignore them, you leave them. Don't pay any attention to them. Do you know the meaning of Subhanallah? Subhanallah. Subhanallah means that Allah is exalted from everything that is not possible for him. Means you are exalting Allah from everything that is not possible for him. Like being a body, being in a place, being in a direction, sitting on the throne, and everything that is not possible for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the meaning of the tasbih, saying Subhanallah. And footnote here. The dua is said after breaking the fast, as mentioned by Al-Khalwati in his annotation of Al-Muntaha. So you don't say the dua before iftar. You say it when you have broken your fast and you have eaten the food. Not finishing entirely, yani. I'm just saying when you have eaten some food, then you say the dua, not before iftar. Number 6, breaking the fast with fresh dates, and if unavailable, then with a dry date, and if unavailable, then with water. Know also that every sweet that has not been touched by fire comes under the meaning of fresh and dry dates, as mentioned by Al-Buhuti. So let's say you don't have fresh or dry dates, but you have a sweet that has not been touched by fire, like a fruit. Do you start with water or do you eat that sweet? The answer is you eat that sweet to fulfill the sunnah, because that sweet is a substitution for you not having fresh or dry dates. The aforementioned supplication in Arabic, meaning this supplication in Arabic, Allahumma laka, it is Allahumma laka sumt wa ala rizqika aftart subhanaka wa bihamdik Allahumma taqabbal minni innaka anta as-sami'ul alim. Rulings pertaining to breaking the fast. It is prohibited for anyone without a valid excuse to break his fast in Ramadan, and that's a major sin. It is obligatory to break the fast for a menstruating woman, a postpartum woman, and one who needs to break his fast to save a protected life from destruction. It is recommended to break the fast for the traveler, for whom shortening prayers, qasr, is permissible, and for the ill person who fears harm. Additionally, breaking the fast is also recommended if there is a fear of falling ill due to thirst or other causes, as is in Al-Muntaha. And it is mentioned in Sharh Al-Muntaha that it is merely permissible for a sick person who is able to fast but will suffer harm from foregoing treatment to break his fast. It is permissible to break the fast for a resident who begins travel during the day and a pregnant or nursing woman who fears harm for herself or the child. But if they only break the fast out of fear for the child's guardian must feed a needy person for each misday. If a kafir accepts Islam, a menstruating woman becomes pure, a sick person recovers, a traveler returns home, a child reaches puberty, or an insane person regains sanity during the day, and they were not fasting, they are obligated to abstain and make up for it. And the kafir is only obligated to make up for the day in which he embraced Islam. And whoever is permitted to break the fast in Ramadan is not permitted to fast any other type of fast during it. So the sick person, for example, it's Ramadan and there's a sick person who breaks his fast. He cannot, he's permitted to break the fast. He cannot fast for a nafil if he wants. He cannot do that, because it is not permitted to fast any other type of fast during it in this situation. And now we move on to the mufattirat, the things that break the fast. The things that break the fast. They are 12. So 12 things which break the fast. Exiting of menstrual blood, postpartum bleeding, death, meaning if a person is fasting and he dies, his fast is broken. Number 4, apostasy, ridda. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ تَعَالَى. And refuge is sought with Allah, exalted is He. Al-Buhuti mentioned in Sharh al-Muntaha that any act of worship during which apostasy occurs, may Allah protect us from it, becomes invalid. Number 5, dedication to break the fast. Number 6, being uncertain about continuing the fast. Number 7, al-qay' wa amda, deliberate vomiting. So not if you vomit without deliberateness, meaning it just happens, then the fast is not broken. So this is specific to deliberate, intentional vomiting. Number 8, insertion of fluid through the rectum for medical treatment. If a person instills drops into his urethra, not sure how to pronounce that, his fast is not broken, even if the liquid reaches the bladder, because there's no direct passage between the bladder and the stomach. And similarly, if a woman inserts something into her frontal opening, it does not invalidate her fast. Know that modern medical scholars, أهل الطب الآن, know that modern medical scholars say that the rectum does not have a passage to the stomach. So we have the Hanbali saying on one hand that the rectum has a direct passage to the stomach, but we have these medical scholars on the other hand saying that it does not have a direct passage to the stomach. So what do we do? If this is confirmed, should we correct what our fuqaha have stated? If there is a unanimous consensus among medical scholars that the rectum is not a pathway to the stomach, we would say that the jurists based their ruling on a presumption that turned out to be incorrect, rendering it invalid. However, if medical scholars differ on this matter, we adhere to what the Hanabila have stated. Allahu a'lam. Number 9. So right now we're covering the mufattirat, the things which break the fast. So number 9, cupping, al-hijama, specifically, khasa, whether one is performing it or having it done. So this is from the mufradat. Specifically means that the ruling that cupping breaks the fast is ta'abbudi, so no analogy can be made with other forms of blood extraction. Okay. Number 10, ejaculation of semen due to repetitive looking, but not due to a single glance, nor due to thoughts, dreams, or madhi. And number 11, emission of semen or preseminal fluid due to kissing, touching, al-istimna, or any form of physical intimacy without intercourse as well as intercourse itself. And number 12, everything that reaches the stomach, throat, or brain, whether it is a liquid or something else. And the Hanabila, they say that the body has two cavities, the stomach and the brain. So if something reaches the stomach, the brain, such as eardrops or the throat, it breaks the fast, whether that substance is a liquid or something solid. So that's important. So now the expiation for intercourse. So we're talking about one who performs intercourse during the day of Ramadan. Whoever engages in intercourse during the day of Ramadan, what is intercourse? You can search that up on Google. Whoever engages in intercourse during the day of Ramadan, whether in the front or back passage, even with a deceased person or an animal, in a situation where abstinence, imsak, is obligatory for him, whether he forcefully had intercourse or was forgetful, is obligated to make up for the fast and offer expiation. So, if the one who initiated intercourse was forgetful or ignorant that intercourse breaks the fast, he is obligated to make up for the fast and offer expiation, even if he claims that he was forced into intercourse. Because the Hanabila, they say that it is inconceivable for a man to be forced into intercourse, contrary to a woman. Likewise, the one who is being engaged with in intercourse must also make up for the fast and offer expiation if she complied, unless she was ignorant or forgetful. If a woman here okay, if a woman willingly engages in intercourse, she is obligated to make up for the fast and offer expiation. However, if she was ignorant of the ruling, forgetful, or even forced, meaning coerced, no expiation is required from her, but her fast is still invalid and she is obligated to make up for it. If her husband forces her, she must resist him using the least harmful means necessary, even if it leads to killing him. So, everything clear? Okay.
No.
You have any question?
What is intercourse, bro? What is that?
I told you to search on Google. Yeah, you can do that.
Okay,
right,
bro, fine. Okay.
Not a funny thing. Obviously, English isn't his first language, so we shouldn't be laughing. Moving on. Pay attention. The expiation is freeing a believing slave, and if unable, then fasting 2 consecutive months, and if unable, then feeding 60 needy people, and if unable, then it is waived. According to the Hanabila, expiations are not waived due to inability, except for two, the expiation for intercourse during the day of Ramadan and the expiation for intercourse during menstruation. Also, according to the madhab, Zakatul Fitr is waived in case of inability. There is no expiation in Ramadan except for intercourse. As for emission by tribadism, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Tribadism, not sure. As for emission by tribadism and that of one who has no male organ, whether he did it with a man or a woman, it requires making up for the fast, not expiation. According to the author of Al-Iqna' and the author of Al-Rawḍaḥ, and this is what Al-Mardawi authenticated in Al-Insaf. So as for emission by tribadism and that of one who has no male organ, such as if he is castrated, for example, whether he did it with a man or a woman, it requires making up for the fast, not expiation, according to the author of Al-Iqna' and the author of Al-Ghayah, and this is what Al-Mardawi authenticated in Al-Insaf. But the author of Ad-Dalil, I believe, he mentioned that there is expiation for tribadism. He mentioned that there is expiation for tribadism. That's contrary to what these scholars mention. Section. So we're almost about to finish with the book, alhamdulillah. Section. Whoever misses fasting for a certain number of days in the Ramadan is obligated to make up for the same number of days. It is recommended to make up immediately, except if there is only enough time left in Sha'ban to complete what is due, in which case it becomes obligatory. It is not valid for someone who always missed fasts from Ramadan to begin a voluntary fast. However, if he initially intended an obligatory fast or making up for a missed fast and then switched his intention to a voluntary fast, it is valid, though disliked for no valid reason. And voluntary fasting is recommended, and its best form is to fast alternate days, which was the method of fasting of Prophet Dawood sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is recommended to fast on the white days, which are the 13th, 14th, and 15th days of every lunar month, as well as fasting on Thursdays and Mondays, and 6 days of Shawwal. According to the madhab, what is best is to fast 6 days of Shawwal immediately after Eid. So according to the madhab, what is best is to fast 6 days of Shawwal immediately after Eid, and to do so consecutively, meaning continuously. This questioner asks, aren't we only meant to say sallallahu alaihi wasallam for the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam? We can say that for any prophet. Yani, we do not say that it is impermissible to limit saying sallallahu alaihi wasallam for Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And even according to the Hanbali, sending salah upon other than the prophets is permissible, according to the madhab. And there's a nas on this in the riwayah of Abu Dawood rahimahullah. It is recommended to fast in Muharram, with the most emphasized day being Ashura, in which fasting serves as an expiation for 1 year of sins. It is also recommended to fast the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah, with the most emphasized day being Arafah, which is an expiation of 2 years of sins. And remember, what do we say? We say that the best of months is the month of Ramadan, and the best of days is the day of Friday, Jumu'ah. And the best of 10-day periods are the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. And the best of nights is Laylatul Qadr. It's mentioned, all of that is mentioned by Al-Khalwati in his Hashiyah. It is disliked to single out Rajab, Friday or Saturday for fasting. It is disliked to fast on Yawm al-Shak, the day of doubt, which is the 30th of Sha'ban, if there is no cloud cover or dust obscuring the moon. If there is cloud cover or dust obscuring the moon, then we fast out of precaution. That's from the Mufradat. It is prohibited to fast the 2 Eids and the days of Tashriq, which are the 11th, 12th, and 13th of Dhul Hijjah, with the exception of those performing the Hajj of Tamattu' or Qiran and who cannot afford a sacrificial animal. Whoever begins a voluntary fast is not obligated to complete it. However, if it is an obligatory fast, completing it becomes obligatory, unless one changes the intention to a voluntary fast. Just making sure we did not miss any footnotes. Okay. Seems like we didn't. وَسُبْحَانَ اللَّهِ وَبِحَمْدِهِ. That's it for the PDF. That's everything covered. The basics of fasting according to Al-Fiqh, Al-Hanbali, and we still have 5 people. Alhamdulillah. We will cover more stuff in the future, inshallah. And for now, this is enough. And again, if you have any question, you can ask here in the chat box.
Jazakallah khairan, akhi. May Allah bless you for the work. We really learned a lot.
Amin wa jazak. Yeah, no problem. And I will share the PDF in the channel in the Islamic Knowledge channel. I will share the PDF. And that's it for today. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You can end the event.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.